From Forex Traders Daily, this is your daily analysis with Ross Mullins, live from Richmond, Virginia.
Hello everyone, this is today's video analysis for September 16th, 2016. In just a moment, I'll be taking a look at the EURUSD, the euro versus the US dollar for today's trade analysis. But first, I want to recap one of the trade suggestions made yesterday during the live trade room. Yesterday, we were seeing the market here on the USD CHF kind of bouncing around between the yellow shaded areas resistance, the blue shaded areas support. We got poor data out of the US yesterday, so all of that tended to lead us to believe that we would be looking for a short opportunity for the US franc. This red candle right before the black X that you see here, this red candle with the wick sticking down to the blue zone was on that US news. As soon as the news was released, it spiked all the way to the blue zone. Then we saw a little bit of a rally on the next 4-hour candle, came right up to this 97.35 level during the trade room. We went ahead and sold it, 97.35, and you can see it came all the way back down into the 97.05 level. So we saw about 30 pips of profit on the trade. Of course, using the trade manager as we always do, locking in to break even when we see 20 pips or more. That's what happened. The market went down. We saw about 30 pips of profit. The trade manager took us to break even. The market turned back around, went right back to the yellow zone, and we're out of the trade now. So the trade manager did its job, protected us from going negative again. But all in all, it was a profitable trade. We did see 30 pips of profit back down to the blue zone from the yellow zone. If you're still looking for that today, looking for a similar scenario, go back out here to the daily time frame, zoom it in one more time, take a look at this. We've been just kind of stuck inside this congestion zone between the blue and the yellow zone. Today's U.S. data, of course, we have some CPI numbers and consumer sentiment data out of the U.S. today. Could change things here. If we get, again, poor data out of the U.S., we look for resistance here at the yellow zone and the possibility of it going back down to the blue zone. If that's something that interests you, of course, your risk is above the yellow zone, just like it was yesterday. The risk is, of course, that we get positive data for the U.S. and it drives it back through 97.55. So that's what we have going there on the franc. Similar yet opposite situation over here on the euro dollar. Just take a look at it on the daily time frame. First off, 100 period moving average coming into the middle of the chart. That's nothing new. We've studied that in the live trade room as well. Zoom it in. You see it sitting right at the bottom of the yellow shaded area, that 100 period moving average. We're kind of just sitting on top of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days. For 8 or 9 days now, we've been stuck between the orange zone and the yellow zone. So for the past 8 days, pretty ugly here for the euro dollar. We need some motivation. We need a catalyst here to drive the market out of this congestion. And right now, we just don't see anything. Even on yesterday's poor news for the U.S., we didn't see a drive outside of this congestion. Maybe today's news will be significant enough to drive it out of here, but at least at this point, we're just kind of waiting to see what the market will do. But while we're waiting, I think there's opportunities here, and there was yesterday, there could be today, to trade the congestion zone. A couple of things here. Forex Black Book trend bar is green. That gives us a bullish bias. If we zoom it out one time on the daily, you can see it's been fairly bullish. You can see along the red trend lines, it's been moving up. So if we're going to trade that direction, the rising direction, poor U.S. data yesterday points in that fundamental direction as well for the rise of the euro dollar. If that's what we're going to focus in on, we want to buy support and the break of resistance. Zoom it down to the 4-hour time frame. What does that look like? Buying support means that we want to buy as close as possible or inside that yellow shaded area. Fundamentally, yesterday's poor U.S. data, if we get poor data today on CPI, if the consumer, what is it, 10 a.m. we have consumer sentiment coming out. If that's poor as well, we look for this to rise. Bounce off the yellow zone, target the orange zone. Again, Forex Black Book is green. That gives us a bullish bias here. So if that takes hold and we see bullish momentum building on the 4-hour time frame, maybe a yellow, maybe a green buy arrow, then again, we're going to look for it to target back to the orange zone. By the way, yesterday's poor data, we saw this blue candle that spiked all the way up to the orange zone. So that's pretty much what we're looking for today. There's always risk in every trade scenario. Of course, a breakdown under the yellow zone and the 11200 level will likely look for a turnaround. That's going to take probably some significantly positive data for the day today out of the U.S. So positive news, we do look for the breakdown. bad news, poor news out of the U.S., we look for it to head back up towards the orange zone, possibly even breaking that orange zone. Looks for a continuation higher, back up towards the 113s, the mid to upper 113s in the blue shaded area at the very top of the chart. But that will definitely need to break out above the orange zone if that's going to happen. So we have an opportunity. I've gone ahead and went ahead and bought it at 112.25. If you want to wait until after the 8:30 Eastern U.S. time news to buy it and see if the news is poor or positive for the U.S., definitely want to wait for that then. But I think appropriate risk strategies, I'm using a 30 pip stop here. Get out if it breaks underneath that yellow shaded area, but I want to be able to take advantage of it. If the news drives it like it did yesterday towards the orange zone, I want to take advantage of that movement. So I'm already in it at the support. Low risk, higher reward. That's what we're going to look for today on the euro dollar.
From Forex Traders Daily, this has been your daily analysis with Ross Mullins. If you would like to get Ross's analysis on all the currency pairs he's watching and all the trades he takes today, join him in his live trade room by clicking on the link below. Please leave any comments you have about today's video in the comments section below.